Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Terrence here with 1010 Studios, back with another part to the course for the TouchMix 30 Pro by QSC. And glad you can join us once again. Happy to have you. Hopefully you're enjoying the information we've been sharing so far with the setting up of the mixer. And we hope that this information is going to help you with your sessions and with your events that you may have on the TouchMix. Now, we basically talked about everything down here at the very bottom of the menu area. I'm going to work our way up. So the clip button is to clear out any time that you may have a clipping signal coming in. So if you have, say, on your drums, let's just say number one is your kick, and if this starts to clip, up here you'll see a little red indicator. In order to clear it just visually, you would just hit clip, and that'll clear that red indicator out until it clips again, or if it clips again. That'll do it for any and all channels that may clip. The mute is to clear out all the mute groups. Anything that might be muted, as you can see, this will unmute all manually muted channels. Channels muted via mute group or DCA will not be unmuted. And it wants to make sure if you want to continue, you can just unmute as needed. Clearing the queue means if you happen to, let's just say you want a cue to hear just in your headphones from the monitor section, you can monitor channel 3. And then if you hit the queue, that should clear it out. So this way you're not monitoring anything at that point. Copy and paste is clearing out all the copy and paste buffers. I really don't see a need for that because you're going to copy per your needs and paste it at that point. Hopefully, I don't see any way that you can copy and paste and have it where your computer we can see the various copy and paste that you may have done in the past. So I don't find any use for that, but I guess they did somewhere down the line. Now for this top section here, I'm going to talk about the screens, scenes and snapshots. So scenes and snapshots and cue lists can be very important depending upon your needs. So scenes in particular are very important because if you deal with a number of different bands, a number of different venues with the same band or things like that, you can create your own scenes. Now they have a few factory ones, as you can see in here: a corporate event, country band, horn band, jazz band, praise band, rock band, songwriter. So they've set up some things to get you started. Now you can choose one and kind of see what it looks like, kind of go through those steps and, you know, customize that as you need to, or you can just create your own and then save your own. We'll talk about that at another point. Now, one thing to not look over is the recall omit areas. So levels, if you want to omit them, you can. Outputs, if you want to omit them, you can. And routing, which I don't suggest you change your routing, but if you do, you can omit all of that. So this way, if you change the scenes in the setup, you don't change the levels, you don't change the outputs, routing, or the way it's laid out, and you don't change the routing in general. So make sure you check those off as needed. Now, when it comes to snapshots, you can take snapshots of certain things and then save it for future use. When it comes to cue lists, now I haven't used this personally, but I've been playing around with it a little bit. You can take a cue list and set something up and load it later on, like say song by song, and then you can kind of go from one to the other, as opposed to doing another scene, another scene, another scene. So you have a few ways of doing that. That's going to be much more advanced, but at some point in time, definitely play around with the cue list in order to, you know, make sure it goes to your, or it's set up for your liking, for your needs. All right, DCA groups. So the DCA groups you can set up. And before we do that, let's go to the DCA groups area. Now, when you're looking at the DCA groups, you can choose whichever input you want. Okay. And let's just say, yeah, let's just start with 1. So let's just say you want the DCA 1 to match, you know, your setup. Let's just say the drums is your first group, and you do it in order. So you know drums is your first DCA, and you know it's 1 through 8. And then your second, is your band area or band section like we've done in the past. And you choose a second section, let's just say. And then let's say the third is your vocals. And then, that's your last section, let's just say. Now, you may have more vocals, but still, you can choose whichever ones you want. And then, let's say 4 is nothing. You just want 3. So that's what you got. Now, you can have more, naturally, as you can see, but if you don't choose to, that's totally up to you. Now, for your talkback, this is where you can use your mic. On the back of the mixer, it has a dedicated talkback channel, and you can use a instrument mic measurement mic rather, for the time being, or you can use it as an actual talkback mic. And as you can see, the talkback light lights up when it's enabled, and it goes out. Now you can just press and hold for a little bit, and then let it go just for temporary talking. And of course, you got the level that you can raise it up or lower down based upon the type of mic, and if you need phantom power 48 volts or not. Now the noise generator, you can turn that on essentially and generate some noise and choose a channel just for a sound check of sorts. Make sure that speaker is working or that output is working. Same thing for the main, and just make sure the mains are working. So if you don't have anything coming through, you still have the ability to test that particular output. Same thing with the effects, basically. So that's there. Now for the talkback, you can say these are your in-ear monitors. Not monitors, but in-ear monitors. So you can use that as a talkback during the show. You can just tell them, hey, got a break coming up, next song. Or a client wants a special request, something like that. Or, what's the next, track? Or do you need, do you need the playback list ready for after this song for your break? Whatever you want to say. Or do you guys need some water? If you are helping out the group and they're up there playing their instruments and performing and, singing and dancing, stuff like that, they may need some water. You can say, hey, you guys need some water, I'll go grab some for you. And they can give you the head nod or the thumbs up or whatever. Just helping them out, basically. So that's for the talkback section. Now, the patch matrix is basically that routing. I personally don't recommend that you change it. Because if you change it and you don't remember what you did, you might have a hard time getting back to where you need to be by making sure your input 1 is for 1, not input 1 is on input 9 or 13 or some random number just because it was changed. So I suggest you leave it the way it is personally, but if you decide to change it, just know this is where you're going to go to check that out. The effects overview is just that. It's just an overview of what's going on. So if you need to make some changes, you can go, hey, I need channel 1 and more effects there, and I need 4 and more effects 2, whatever that might be. I need 6 and more of 3, whatever that might be. You can make some quick effects changes right here. That's just one section. You can do this in other ways as well, but this is just one area. Backups is just that. If you decide to back up your mixer somehow, you can do a update or a backup of some sort. So in case something doesn't go quite right, you can recall it from a history of your mixer settings. I would say to definitely date it. So let's just say if you're always making changes, things like that, you might want to do it maybe once a month, once every 2 or 3 months, depending upon your needs. Auto mixer is here. I haven't used it before, but it is available. So in case you have like I guess you say a panel of sorts, you can go through this and work out the auto mixing. So this way it can help to, turn up one mic when one person's talking, so you don't have to always chase it and realize who's talking more than someone else. So I wouldn't suggest this for music or a music event, just for like a talking panel to help you to not chase those mics so much. And external faders, haven't used it, but apparently it's an option there. So you can connect a device and be able to control it via the different faders, physical faders that is, compared to the virtual ones. So that's going to complete the main menu section for this mixer.